Today, I'm joined by Mr. Simon Leadbetter of We Are Unchained Marketing. How are you doing, sir?
I am very, very well. It's good to see you. Actually, it's a beautiful day. I'm really pleased. The sun is out.
Things are looking up. It hasn't
Spring is
rained.
here. Spring is here.
It hasn't rained yet in Manchester today, which makes us, feel a bit dubious. But we're here to talk about other things today. So we're wearing different hats, I suppose. And we're here, of course, to talk about the wonderful work of the Property Mark Trust, but also, more importantly, what's going on the 20th of September, because you and I will hopefully be joining a full version of this room that's behind me at Millennium
Definitely.
Point in Birmingham for PropX, which proves to well, is proving to be a very different sort of day out for the property world. So over to you, because I know that it's as new for you as it is for me, really, getting involved with the work of the trust. But what attracted you to working with the trust in the first place?
Well, I've been involved in a couple of trusts in the past. I'm a great believer in giving back. It's why, without mentioning, they're not a competitor, but I'll mention agents together. The reason why I'm a mentor there is I want to help people in this industry. I love the industry. I think, talking to different people. I've always had a mentor in my life, or several, in fact, over the years. And that's been really good. But when Megan reached out about the trust, I'll be honest, I hadn't heard of you. I'd heard of Property Mark, but I'm not part of product because I'm not an estate agent. I'm not a lettings agent. I'm moving on the
Oh,
marketing side. So I knew what Property Mark was. I had huge respect for them. So when Megan started to talk to me about the work of the trust and told me a few of the stories, I was blown away. I had no idea it existed. And I just done the voice of the agent, which we've talked about previously on another podcast. And mental health is such a big issue for our industry. And people go through crises. And some of the stories I've heard about how the Property Mark Trust has helped people is I need more people to know about this. And as I'm a professional communicator, my job is to make people aware of stuff. And normally it's not a good thing. It's something I want to sell. Actually promoting and talking and advocating for an organization that's doing good, well, that fits my values and my objective in the industry is to help the industry be better. And that includes for the worst times for people.
you just talked about the Voice of the Agent survey, and it is a superb, very interesting read. I'd go so far as to say one of the most significant studies on our industry done recently. And I think that looking at the areas that we can certainly improve on, but certainly the very important discussions that we're having surrounding difficult topics, bereavement, mental health, all the diversity, equality, all the buzzwords, Simon. But really, these are important. These are important things that hitherto didn't get airtime, weren't particularly thought about, and it's nice to see that we're not just talking about it, we're doing something about it as well. And that really is the message of PropX, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, I think we are blessed this year with the events that are coming up. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Women in Estate Agency, probably one of the best conferences I've been to ever, if I'm honest with you. Just listening to some great conversations. I may have got the odd mote of dust in my eye and may have had to need to mop from periodic because and I don't normally get that at a conference, if I'm honest with you. We obviously Property Mark One's coming, which will be obviously much more business focused. But again, we network with our industry and we get to know each other and people actually who say, can you help me? We're a great industry for going, yeah, sure, I'll have a call, no problem at all. I'm really happy to help you. Some people are hyper competitive, but most people in the industry, as a rule of thumb, will help someone out if they can. And then to have, this in September, it's fantastic. It's going to be a crowning glory for the year. And I think I mean, apart from me, the lineup of speakers you've got is fantastic.
It,
I went to a conference last October, September, October time, and someone said to me, "You're on first, you're going to leave afterwards." And I went, "No, I'm going to stay to listen to the other speakers. I am as much a delegate because I want to hear what the other people say and go home with my brain filled with fascinating stories and knowledge, kind of like apply to my own life and spread their word on. So yeah, it's going to be
I
fantastic.
think I think you are spot on, and I think there's so much room for it because you know, I suppose every conference at its core is an opportunity for us to get together, see each other, pass all those communicable diseases onto each other and in the foyer at the same time. You know what they're there for. But we are there to network as such. But there are times, and we may have referred to this slightly off camera, but there are times where it feels like it's a full work day, if you like, in terms of being sold to, trying to sell a little bit. That networking works both ways. But here, and I suppose this is something it very much does share with, hopefully, the Women in Estate Agency conferences. It's a day where we kind of put the selling to one side, but we're trying to put the inspiration front and center, and it's about people's experiences and their first-hand stories. So, with that in mind, tell us a little bit about what you're planning on talking about, because we know what you like to talk about the most.
What could that possibly? Does it
It's
start with
occasion, I
marketing?
don't know, you claim to know a little bit about marketing, just a tiny bit, a fraction.
Well, it's really interesting because I found a fascinating. I'm a complete geek, so I geek out on marketing stats and numbers all the time. If I want creative marketing, I need to hire someone. I can do all the data and the science and get all that lined up. And I basically stumbled across I think I won't look away at another screen to it. University of Michigan, I think it was. But there was this really big study of the impact of brand and well-being in an organization. And while my passion is marketing, and I will probably for one slide talk about the power of brand and how it will benefit your business from growing your business, I'm then going to really get into the detail of if you've created a really good brand internally, what that does to your performance. And the mental health of your team is better with a great brand, a genuine and authentic brand, not just a sticker above a door. But if your brand stands for something and your brand has genuine and authentic values and they're lived from every level of the organization, it is incredible what happens to performance and productivity. You can, bizarrely enough, get better people for less money. They are more productive and they are more creative, and you get a greater level of innovation. I mean, literally, when I read this paper, it was like there are no downside. I mean, literally, from the hardcore financial director perspective. So people stay longer. We don't have to recruit people as often. When we do, they're cheaper. The best people come to us anyway. They're happier and more productive and creative and more innovative. And we just need to have a really good employee brand. I've kind of given my talk a little bit. But I will go into much more of the science behind that. It's not just kind of like fluffy stuff. It's
So I
hard.
suppose this takes values and culture and almost elevates them and puts them bang on the level with brand, isn't it?
100%. I mean, people who think brand is just your logo don't understand what a brand is. A brand really means it means who you are, who you're for, how you get there, what you do, and importantly, what you're not. You know, if your brand is, we just make maximum amount of money, don't put fluff around it. If that's genuine, authentically who you are basically going to squeeze the margin on everything and maximize profitability, regardless of the consequences. Just say that. And there was one estate agency I've known who almost did say that in their business plan. But if you want to stand for something more, be part of a community, which the best estate agents are, and people who work for you are part of that community as well, and your best advocates are your people, followed by the people you deal with. If you've got a great brand and people feel they're part of something, it's amazing the transformational effect on a business. And I've got some great examples, both big and small companies, where they've really embraced this and how it's changed the business. As an industry, I don't think we've really understood this.
Well,
I think some do. Some do. Some understand the power of having a really good brand with authentic values and a great culture. It's often the independents. But even there, we've got some, it's just about making money.
well, you
And they
heard
would
it first, folks. Mr. Simon Leadbetter is going to teach you how to walk the walk and not just talk the talk.
absolutely. And some really quick tips. I've got a lot of really practical ideas. So people who come to the talk, listen to the talk, will have a whole pack of ideas they can pick. And it's pick a mix. You only need to do one of them to start with. But
I'm
once you
glad
start,
I'm glad you mentioned pick and mix because I need to talk about the venue. We're going to be I mean, behind me, as you can see, it is actually it's the most remarkable venue, and it's in a nice and central position in the country, so that we can all, north and
yeah,
south, feel included and loved. So you don't need to get into
Londoners won't
Mayfair for
come.
this one.
Londoners won't leave M25
I'm
because it's
hoping we
a
can
Garden Dragon.
lure a few of them away over to Birmingham. It's not
We'll
such a
get them
bad.
up. We'll get them up there. We'll get them up there.
But it's an IMAX cinema screen, so it's got a huge screen, but lots and lots of seating, very comfortable.
Yeah.
There will be popcorn, I'm told. But is this the first time that you're going to stay awake for the whole film? Are you going to
I'll
keep
stay
us
awake.
awake for the whole film, is what I'm
I
asking.
will. I actually, I think I'm the shift just before lunch. So my job is to keep people attentive just before the stomachs start rumbling and they start dashing off to go and have their lunch. So I will keep the energy as high as I can, and then I'll go and have lunch and go. I can now relax and enjoy my lunch because I don't have to go on in the afternoon.
Well, showing at the main stage at PropX just before lunch, Mr. Simon Ledbetter, thank you so much for giving us of your time, and thank you for all the work that you're doing as an ambassador for the trust,
My pleasure.
and being out there because it means. I mean, we watched today a tiny snippet of some of the great work that the trust is actually delivering on and doing behind the scenes, and it's probably fair to say it's one of the best kept secrets in the industry, and it's our job to make it the worst kept secret. And hopefully, by the time people get there in September, there'll be no doubt as to what we do and how we do it. But it is tremendous, isn't it?
The hottest ticket this year, I think. Definitely the hottest ticket this year. You know, you are missing out on a great event if you don't come. Apart from my bit, which is,
And it's one of the only events going on in our industry where every penny of profit goes to charity. What more could you wish for?
someone said, "Can I get a discount?" And I went, and it's fair. We should point out there are people who financially might not be able to. And what I love about it is it lives its values. This is an authentic brand. It lives its values. I know they're willing to help people who might find that a bit of a stretch.
Absolutely. Anyone that is struggling who wants to come but can't come for financial reasons, contact us in discretion. We will sort it out. We'll make it
But
happen.
it's a great donation to charity. Just by going, it's a great donation to charity, and you get a fantastic event. I mean, I'm glad I'm going. I'm bringing my people because I think we all benefit from going to these things.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you there on the day. Simon, thank you once again.